Going to every single open mic in New York City, week 2, the Mike Strike Back.
We just had to explain the concept of stand-up comedy to some very sweet people. They were too nice for this world. If a cute guy and an older scientist walk back here, just deliver your best material.
So that was wild. So the mic happened this week. 6 people showed up, and we had 2 audience members. They were very friendly, very sweet people, and they felt kind of like a show. Not a good show, but a show. Venue, I'll say 3.5 to 4. It's a little rundown, but ultimately, the mic works, the amp works. Let's call it 4. For the host, it's me. I'll call me a 3. I don't feel comfortable hyping myself up. And then for crowd, because we randomly had these 2 sweet people, didn't know what an open mic was, but still wanted to support. They said they felt like they got their own personal comedy show. I'll go crowd 5 today. I don't know, I can't really apply this to every week, but let's pretend people show up every week. I'm also realizing front-loading this entire thing with mics that I know are good or I'll enjoy the first week is going to make the next week's slog. But right now we're heading to sesh for the 6 o'clock. Best set. Let's give it to Tony. Tony Psychowski. Although everyone had good sets. Zach had a good set, Ben Miller, Paco, Jake Stein. They all had good sets. But we'll give it to Tony. All right. On to the next one.
That is the thing about being a stand-up and doing it for a long time, and also being a married man. It means I have to talk to so many non-stand-up men, like my wife's friend's husband. My wife's husband.
So there was the sesh, 6 p.m. sessions. Do like 3 a day on these 1-hour sessions that you have to stick around the entire time for. And pre-sign up on Instagram. It's a good system. I wouldn't suggest doing them back to back though, because you can have a lot of the same people, so you can't work as much. Host was Joan. Joan did a great job. Let's say 4. Space used to be nicer. It's a little run down now, so I'm gonna go 2.5. And the mic is good, 3. But the mic works well, so 3. Supportive crowd. I don't know, 3.5, 4. Like, they have to listen. They're going to give you a chance. It's just you can't really murder in the room. I'd say 3.5. But they're listening, so it's useful. Sessions are really good, like filler mic. It's not worth going to on its own, but it's good to like sneak in one if you're going to a different mic in the same area. So I'd suggest for that. The space used to look cool on Instagram posts because the light would go up and they used to do comedy shows, but they do comedy shows out of a different venue now, so it doesn't look as cool. But on to Eastville.
Yeah, you can do that.
I'm from the Deep South. Anybody else in here from Deep South? I gotta tell you, it's a great place to not be anymore, actually.
All right, now we're encountering the difficulties of trying to attend 4 to 5 mics in a day, and rushing from Eastville to Rodney's to the Latin Theater, which I'm not sure about this week and next, and that's been so much money. Eastville is a comedy club in Brooklyn near Atlantic Barclays. It can be good, it can be bad. Today, the mic before the one I was at that I'm going to go to next week, pretty well attended. The one I was at, maybe 6 or so people, and I went way towards the end. Host, you know what? I'm making him a 4.5. He wore a monkey suit. He was trying really hard, put in the effort. He cares about hosting, so good for him. Venue, it's a comedy club. Eastville's a little weirdly shaped and can be cold in the winter, but right now it's in fine. So I guess I'll go venue. It's not good for a mic. It's too big for a mic, so I'll go 3.5 venue. Because it's cavernous, if it laughs disappear really quickly. Host, venue, crowd. Fine. Favorite counts. 3. That's it. Best set, I'm going to give to Sean Conrad on that one. Really good set. On to Rodney's. think it'll be the last month tonight. I have a shit ton of Brooklyn mics I still have to do. This is going to be a bigger grind than I expected. Yeah, I think some of my jokes are working. Some are getting better, but what's amazing is that getting better is less from doing some of the mics and more from writing stuff out, long form, and then cutting stuff. And I see it's not working. But I am learning. I honestly want to see wider variety of people, but it turns out the same like 100 comics are grinding at any one point in time, and just some of them give up every month, and so you've got that churn of the cycle. But we'll see if I encounter brand new scenes. Yeah. On to runs.
And that shit fucks you up, man.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was the ventriloquist I'd be talking about tomorrow. 100%. I thought that's the story I'd be telling. Okay. All right. Cool.
Last night was another Robin Buddha. It's 9:45 at Rodney's. Rodney's is a location deal with Dangerfields. That was wild. Live and Buddha mics are very expensive. That's why I don't do them. They tend to have a lot of newer people, I think, because they're very expensive. That's the only people who spend that kind of money. They give out like a free spot on one of their shows, but they give a free spot at random to just people stick around, which was like, you can't like earn a spot, which was like the spot, and the show's probably not that good, maybe. Not done the show, so I can't speak to that. Host, let's say 3.5, 4. Venue. The club is nice. I mean, it's a club, but it's a newer club, so 4. Crowd, I would say, is supportive. 3.5, but they were tight. There was a ventriloquist, which is always a fun mic to go to. Yes, ventriloquists go to open mics. But there was also an old white dude singing 6 times during his set. And the best part is like he had his inward bit. And then it's his performance, and so then he just tries to do a different bit at the end that also bombed. But I love that he had an inward bit. He's like, I can top this. I can. Yeah, open mics. That's fun. It's late. I'm tired. I need to get a little bit of writing before I sleep. But then I didn't post today, so I'm going to post when I'm back. I don't know. This thing is a lot. Hopefully, maybe I'll learn something. At the very least, I'll be able to say I've done everything. And of the open mics I've done, that was certainly one of them. It's 3:30. I'm leaving at my subway stop. Today's gonna be a proper grind until I get home probably 11:30. Last day when the subways will be cool. Going to the 4 o'clock comedy shop and the 6 o'clock comedy shop. Then Upper East Side, and that's a trip.
I'm pretty sure crack pie is worse for you than actual crack, because unlike my family, I've met old crackheads before. They're flexible, you know what I mean?
But they don't think about what happens after you unload the plane. Like, there's still...
The thing is, of course, he was single. Like, that was like, yeah. Which is almost impressive if you know anything about FSU. Women at FSU will fuck dudes just to be polite.
Alright, so I haven't done this so far, but I did just double up 4 and 6 at the comedy shop, which I think used to be the Village Lantern. It was, pre-pandemic, it was the Village Lantern. The room was fine, although it tends to kill laughs for some reason. I don't know how it was designed, or laughs seem to die in that room really quickly. The venue, 3.5. It's a club. We're upstairs. There's an upstairs and a downstairs. I'd say host for both. They were doing their best. 3.5. It's a pretty good room. And support-wise, The comedy shop is where you go to take bits to lose confidence in them, or just say something on stage for the first time. Support 2. I do feel bad saying that because I've gone before, and I've been many times, so I haven't been back in a while. So the best set from the first mic, let's say, was Dean David, pretty good set. And the best from the second one was Yvette. So all of them, I guess. Now I'm going to grab a quick bite and go. Quick bite and go sell and fly on the Upper East Side. We're Grizzly Bear at 10, and hopefully that'll be the last Laughing Buddha for a while.
I just got tired of going to open mics and encountering people I thought were strangers who knew my first and last name.
So that was the Stella and Fly mic, which I need to actually go back to more in my regular mic going. It was 3 minutes. I had to get a seltzer, which was like $5. But half the people there I would book on any show in New York City. There were a lot of great comics there. I'm very supportive. So I think hosts like kept it warm, kept it moving. I think they had 4. Crowd support, I'll go 5. It's a small room. But they fill it up well, so 4.5 of the space. Just the seating is like maybe not fantastic, but I would highly suggest you go just to watch some really great comics perform. Like I would have booked half of them on any show I would produce. So for that reason, like 2. Let's say Max Marcus had a great set, and Gabby had a great set. So I'll throw the names up. On to the last mic of the night, which is number 8. Got another Laughing Buddha. Here's the Midtown, which is a comedy club. But this is not their comedy club. It's probably the same people from last night, which I'm not looking forward to.
And he said, I finally saved up enough for bottom surgery. If I can, I want to get one inch bigger.
Fuck you.
It is 12:30 at night. We put there 9-hour day to hit up 4 mics. How was I went up towards the end. There were some people there at first. They quickly found out where the mic was a good one. Shut down, they started freaking out. And most people get really nervous when you're seeing a bad comedy show. You kind of forget as a comic, but like most people are terrified of watching a bad comedy show because it's just so bad for the comic trying. I don't really care anymore, but I do understand that fear. So they shut down. Let's see, host. It's pretty good run. It seemed like they were trying, I don't know, 2.5. Space is Grizzly Bear Midtown. That's an actual comedy club. Kind of like it's not a knockoff. It's a second location of a venue in Duval that I wouldn't even call really a comedy club, but it bills itself as that now. I think because of crashing. When I moved to the city, it was just like a shithole bar that was near the cellar, so you could just occasionally get a good comic and park people in who couldn't get in at the cellar, and now they have 2 venues. But the space is much nicer here, so call it a 4. And then crowd reception, they were not having it for most of them. But I did well, had a great set, so maybe it was just really bad comedy tonight. Just bad energy. I don't know, call it a 3. It was one of those nights where I was like, oh yeah, I do have the skills to turn around a bad room. That was nice feeling. Instead of saying, say Joe in the morning. But that
My family's vegetables are bacon flavored.
so that was my first of 3 that I'm doing for the Drew and Peter mics, which are out of Greenwich Village Comedy Club. a few doors down from the Comedy Cellar. GVCC is part of Broadway Comedy Club. They have the same bookers and I assume owners. So a lot of their mics are related, and they'll tend to promote the audition showcase there, which I've done a few times. Greenwich Village Comedy Club is small. I actually like the venue. It's a little bit run down, and there's people. It's part of the McDougal Run, which is Grizzly Pear, GVCC, and then they call it Village Landing again? Comedy Shop. So a lot of people do all three in a loop. I would say the hosts, Drew, I like Drew, let's say 4. I always try and promote him. He does material. The space, I like the space. I say 4. I think it's good for small rooms. Today's crowd, not very supportive for anybody, so let's give them a 2, but it's different. Sometimes it'll be 4, sometimes it'll be 2. I've had 5s in that room, so it just depends. On Friday I'm doing the 1 and the 3, so we'll see how those go. I've done that one a lot. I highly suggest that if you're trying to get out there on Google, you just kind of have to sign up in advance. Go to follow Drew Tessier. I'll say Drew. Drew had the best set, I think. Yeah. He did material. Everyone else is working on new stuff. Let's say Drew had the best set. Follow Drew. Check out his website. Bruno's Secret Pour. This is much more lighting than I've ever seen in this room. Does not do it any favors. It's a speakeasy in the back of a bar in Bushwick. I'll try to catch it on my way out. I have arrived 45 minutes early because there were 5 people in my previous mic, and this was listed as a 7 p.m. start, but it's a 7:30 start, 7 p.m. sign up. So I'll be early. I also don't have to be that fast the next mic.
I might get pushed in front of the subway, but my family's definitely going to be murdered by the food they eat every day.
All right, that's the Secret Pour Wednesday at 7:30. Hosted by Tyler Dozier, who is a good host. Secret Pour is a venue that does a lot of bar shows. They have a literally secret back room. That's a speakeasy comedy club. I think they only do comedy. I've never seen music there. But it's in Bushwick. It's just kind of known as a spot you can put a produce a show. They're very friendly to comedians. Venue, it's a little in the back. The drinks are cheap, and the bar itself is pretty cool. And it is, you can literally push through and walk through doors. It's very cool. So I'll go venue say venue 3.5 hosts. I'll go 4. I think Tyler does a great job hosting. The crowd was very supportive. They were listening and stuff, most of around the entire time. There were people coming in from the bar for Secret Pour. It was the Wednesday at 7:30. Best set tonight. I think Herline had a great set. Follow her. I'm off to this next one I'm excited about because it is Soho Playhouse mixed mic 9:45, but it seemed almost like a show. So let's see if this stuff works.
Reparations way past due. I finally want to be able to say all the words in the rap songs. All right, let's pay them. Let's pay them and make it happen.
All right, that is the V-Spot mic at 9 o'clock. This is the V-Spot location in Brooklyn. Or I guess there's only one now. So V-Spot used to be the front of what is now St. Mark's Comedy Club. It was a vegan restaurant. And I think it's moved to Brooklyn, although St. Mark's Comedy Club is still open. That's where I'm heading right now to try and get up on a show. Host-wise, I think they did a good job. I don't know, 4. Trying, being sweet guys. Crowd was supportive. 3.5 was just comics mostly, but the staff was there. They were listening. Let's say 3.5 for host, 3.5 for supportive. Venue is nice, small little space. 3.5. Call it 4. I'm trying to get up. Let's see. It is in Brooklyn. And now I have to get back to Manhattan. I'm tired. This is going to drag. I'm not even halfway there.
I dressed like a really cool dog. Just like a chihuahua on Raya, you know what I mean?
It is bright out because it's 1 p.m. And 1 p.m. and the 3 p.m. at Greenwich Village Comedy Club, Peter Mike's. Same venue's the same. I think I probably gave both a 4. I like both of them. Maybe 3.5 the host. But I like the venue. I didn't give it a 4 before. I really liked it. This time was more supportive. So I would give the room 3.5. Yeah, it's good. It's a good one to get, like, if you're really trying to grind out the day. Google Street Mics are good to start at 1 p.m. And you can go from all the way from 1 p.m. to 11 p.m. Try to get a 10-hour day in. And then you're going to snap and make sure back 3 p.m.
My ex-girlfriend is now my ex-boyfriend. Clap it up for him. Yeah. He's doing that in Florida. I guarantee you no one's clapping there.
Same room, same host. Really great crowd. So let's give him a 4.5. The lesson I learned there is when you are used to working on new material and then you work your actual set or you're warming up for an audition, your actual material is very good. You've been working on it for a long time. So a lot of confidence in this audition spot. It's in town. Every year his favorite member.
Some of my friends have done ketamine therapy. I feel like if I brought that up to my therapist, he's like, you should do ketamine? Like, he would just let me do crack therapy, I think. I'm pretty sure he'd let me do that, actually.
All right, that was the audition show. It was another lightning round, which happened the last time I was there. I didn't get it, which is fine. Yeah, the audition show, I think it's a good process. I think the advice, if anyone's a comic here, is to try it. You should definitely focus not on the room at all. It's a very strange form of comedy, but focus entirely on just saying your set. Even if you say your set quickly, don't time it properly. Just get as many punchlines out as possible, as quickly as possible. Don't riff, don't focus on energy. Again, Space Comedy Club, it's a nice comedy club, call it a 4. Host, I like Natalie. Let's give her 3.5 or a 4. Crowd reception. Booking a bunch of comics to audition against each other and also be the crowd is a really tough crowd. So I'm going to say 2, but I don't think it actually matters how the crowd reacts. And I'm going to say I think Paul had the best set. He also did not. Great.
I feel like more men would go to therapy if we go to therapy with our boys.
I think Tiny Cupboard Blue Room can be bad for your soul. I used to actually live near here before the Tiny Cupboard opened. It was a spot that really blew up during the pandemic because they had rooftop access. They would do comedy there a lot, so pros would come through. And it kind of kept it going because a lot of comics live in Bushwick and no place nearby to perform. The mics in the blue room, which are an upstairs room, which you saw, can be deadly. This space is like a 2. It's a very tiny room. They decorated nicely. They said 2.5. Host, I think Alex did a good job. Was Alex at 3.5? Yeah, 3 or 4. He was paying attention. Let's be honest, 4 for that space. And then the support, that room is not built for people to support each other. So I'm going to say that's got to be a 2. It's the 5:30. I'm going to come back at least 3 more times. Maybe they'll be better. Tiny Cupboard, the space itself downstairs, the church, which is what they call the pink room, is nice. They don't do shows on the rooftop anymore because someone broke their ankle years ago. On my way to Richmond Comedy Club, to maybe try to walk on to their mic at 6:30, so we'll see. But yeah, Tiny Cupboard's mostly known for getting a quick mic in when you don't want to travel far if you live in Bushwick. And it used to be the only place to go during, right after the pandemic, so it's also popular. Right now it's deadly. And if you're going in summer, be advised there is no indoor AC, and so you're going to be in a small room with a lot of sweaty people. Bushwick. yet another bust at Bushwick Comedy Club. This time the list was full by the time I reached there, which means I'm going back to Tiny Cupboard for the 7 o'clock.
My master's is from NYU, which I thought was a good school until I went there. And then I learned, like, oh, this is just where rich people send their dumbest, most non-binary children.
That was the Tiny Cupboard 7 o'clock on Saturdays. Honestly, a way better experience. Real people showed up, it's really packed, everyone was very supportive. There was a no material mic, so you just did a bunch of riffs based on suggestions. Wonderful time. The space is still like a 2.5, 2. Host, I'm going to give a 4. He's really, really great at being a warm host, making a creative environment. Supportive crowd, 4. I mean, 4, 4.5. Like, it's a small room, but when you pack it out, it is mighty. And I think that's kind of the dichotomy of comedy. It's like the space that can be terrible for one mic can be great for another. So I would highly suggest, if you're in Bushwick at 7 p.m. on Saturdays, come check out the mic at Tiny Cupboard. I wouldn't suggest the 5:30, but it's not down to the host. It's just down to the time, the energy, all that stuff. It's difficult to bottle and control, but I had a great experience, had a great set. Who I suggest? John Moskowitz. Well, John. Say John Moskowitz up the best set. He really sounds. He did material, but no material mic, but honestly, so no.
Jesus was a carpenter who died being nailed to a piece of wood. Do you think he, like, heckled the technique of the guy swinging the hammer?
Right, so that was, here's the pair, 2 o'clock Sunday. I think I have a 2 o'clock on Saturday too. That was my 2 o'clock spot. That used to be run by SB and Ryan O'Toole, but now it's run by Jay. It was good. Space, it's weird, they consider themselves a comedy club. Space, I like it. It's a good space, although it's too big for a mic, so call it 3.5. Host, 3.5. Jay did a good job. Very windy. So if that room was not supportive at all, I don't know, 2.5 for supportive, but it's always like that. Yeah, we had the best set. Ben had a really good set, so shout out Ben, follow him. Now I'm on to Sleepwalk, which is a bar in Williamsburg I've never been to before. This is a fairly new mic, so this is going to be new for me. Look forward to that. Yeah, hair, it's just part of the Google run, so you can do hair to shopping, hair to ritual comedy shopping for. It's kind of what most likely people do. I don't think anybody's doing it today. Kind of light, but so. Right, on the next one.
They double check that you're allergic to the thing you're allergic to that they just so happen to enjoy the most. You're like, oh, Sebastian, you can't have shrimp. Not even scampi?
Okay, so that's Sleepwalk is the name of the bar. It's Crayon. Kids Crayon Comedy. Open mic, 4 p.m. on Sundays. Good. I'd say venue 5. It's really, really cool venue. Little room in the back. It's big enough so it feels packed. Room supportive-ish. 3.5. Hosts, 3.5. They did a good job. They're trying. Dual hosts. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely check it out. I think it works well with a few other mics in the area. Like you can hit up. It's near Eastville. It's nearby, not super nearby. You can have Eastville after. Pretty close to Easy Lover, so there's a mic on Sundays at Easy Lover. 6, so it's easy to hit that up. Yeah, definitely working in rotation. It's pretty new, but it seems pretty cool. Now on to Fear City. This is the last time I went to go to Fear City. I'm going to have to go to Fear City one more time.
Which comic in the room gives the worst head, guy or girl? Definitely girl.
So that is the Fear City at 6 on Sundays, which means material left mic. So I have to go to the Fear City 6. It's Fear City 6. We'll see how that goes. Interesting work mics for material mics. venue again. I like the venue. I say 4.5, whatever we call it. Portland. It's really good. Small comedy venue in Manhattan. Hosts, they did the riffs up top. Let's give them a 4. Crowd 3.5, but good. A lot of fun. Apparently, they give out contest spots for their shows based on who has the best riffs, so that's interesting. Come through if you're trying to win one of those contest spots. They weren't giving one out today, but they say they do in the future. A lot of fun, especially if you haven't riffed before. It's a really low stakes way to do it, a way to get better at it, and to be calm on stage. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to necessarily do it again, but it's good, especially if you're early on. I would suggest it.
Really fun. But they can't just say they like guns. Like, they have to have some philosophical reason for it. You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing, I like to drink. I don't pretend I vodka for the Constitution.
So we've gone to another mic that I semi-routinely go to. O'Keefe's Punching Bag, 8 p.m. Sundays. It's good. You can often get a spot from Damon because he runs a show out of the same space. He wasn't there today. He had a guest host. I don't know why you get a lot of people coming in from out of town to go to O'Keefe's. So that happened tonight. We had like an influx of dudes from Kentucky, who do very well. We're having a great time. No, I like the room. It's supportive. It's fun. People tend to stick around the entire time, except for me because I'm running for a show. Let's see. We have space. I like it. It's upstairs. It's private. It's a little loud, but I'll go 3.5. Host, I'm gonna go 4. Yeah, 4. Like Damon, he wasn't here, but I'm gonna give him some bonus credit. And then audience support, I would go 4. I mean, people tend to listen, tend to engage, tend to vibe with what you're doing there. I think because it's an intimate space. And I'll give set to Geneva. She was doing some new stuff, but it was still really good. So, yeah, on to my show at a hostel. That'll be my 5th spot tonight. I think it's a good night.